Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Bang the Light, Destry here. There's no rehearsing here, no nothing or anything like that. This is
we wish it was.
this is just straight up, no script, no nothing, no, we've not went over no questions. He has no clue anything I want to ask him or anything. But go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Check it out.
Check it out. Like the videos, share them, turn on the notification button. And if you go back through my videos, you'll see where I had Bang the Light, My Thoughts Part 1.
Part 1.
And we picked Destry up this year and sponsored him. And like I said in the first video,
Bless.
he has done a really great job for us, give us 110%, and just went beyond measures of just doing stuff, not even having to ask him to do it. So guys, he's done a really good job for us, and I don't want to spoil nothing, tell anything up front right here too quick. But we're going to go back to how, where, and why Bang the Light started. So, when did you originally come up with this idea?
Actually, it was last year when COVID broke down, and I was shut everything down. So I was at home for a couple months, and I wanted to do it, but it just wasn't the right time. It wasn't a whole lot going on last year. With everybody being stuck at home, and feels like me, you was worried about your kids, or the place I worked for was shut down for a while, and just sitting there watching. I had the idea in my head. It just wasn't the right time. So the first this year after the 828 race here at Wilkesboro.
So we'll try to get it on time frame so people can understand. When you say last year, what time frame of last year?
In the middle of summer.
Middle of summer.
May, June, July. I came up with the idea to start my own drag racing group. I got some friends that drag race, and and we go to drag races together, like Piedmont, and we went to Mooresville last year, and I just kept having this idea in my head. I needed to do something more than what I was doing, and start a platform for me to go off of. And then this year, after March, it was the 1st of May, I decided to drop my group and start on Facebook.
Did you talk to anybody before you dropped the group? Did you talk to anybody much about it, or throw the idea? Did anybody think you were crazy?
Oh yeah, a lot of people thought that I was just like
crazy than what you really are right now.
Yeah, they think I was nuts. I was like, oh, that ain't gonna work. And I always believe your number one hater is your best fan, because they're always watching you. But thanks to all my haters that said, laughed at me when I talked about this the first of the year, and I appreciate y'all too just as much as I do the people that is in the group. So we went to 828, came here March.
And the funny part, this is when of course they had the bad wreck.
Yeah, I was right behind. I was filming right behind Billy's truck.
And it's like right now, me and Destry are sitting side by side. We were basically shoulder to shoulder. He was filming.
Didn't know who he was.
Didn't know each other at all. Had no clue who each other was. So that was back in March. Then Tyler had a race. What was that? May, June.
The first Saturday night street fights.
Yeah, first Saturday night street fights, which has done really well.
Yeah, and, that event's really picked up. Car counts really went up. A lot of good racing.
And tried not to give away too much in the first video, but as far as I didn't want to spoil nothing for you.
Oh, okay.
Telling too much in the first video, but my first impression, I'm watching Destry run around.
Still didn't know who I was.
Still didn't know who he was. He had 2 phones in his hand, one in each hand, running around like this. You were, wasn't it? Was Kevin here? Was he?
Yeah,
here?
I was Kevin. I had my phone, and then I just had started a group, and I had my phone. I was doing some videos and stuff. I was going to just do little TikToks and stuff with or whatnot, and I had Ty Revis's phone also. I was recording for him, and they became really good friends too. They don't see him as much as I do y'all, but keeping him live 3.5 hours away from me. But we talk constantly on the phone. But I was up there videotaping for me and for them, because they needed some footage of the car on takeoff from the rear end. to see what it was doing.
And my impression was, who is this crazy little? I called you a Tasmanian.
Oh
devil.
yeah, I
That's
bounced
this little
around.
Tasmanian devil running around the drag strip with 2 phones. You know,
He probably thought I was crazy at that point in time too.
well, I mean, I didn't think he was. Well, yeah, might be a little crazy, but I thought, you know, this guy really, he's into drag racing. He really enjoys it. It was the first time I didn't pay as much attention at the first race, but I seen you and I was like, okay, yeah, he's just like the rest of us, want to get video. And then Tyler's race, it was like, man, this dude, he's 100% heart in it.
Yeah,
Got all of his heart, spilled his whole heart out to it. And then you'd already started a Facebook page with Bang the Light. And I got invited. I'd have to go back and look, but I ended up getting put in there myself.
You know, I called you up. I mean, we talked on Facebook or whatever,
Yeah,
and then you invited me and my group to come to Dino Night, which is this week, but it was earlier this year. Robert Smith called me up and said, Robert Dollar wants to talk to you. You need to talk to him on the phone. And then we started talking about sponsorship. And then a couple weeks later, I made a ride up here to the shop, met you, Scott, Robbie, and all the guys that work there. They have a great group of people there. And I met everybody there, and we sat down and talked. And I left that day without any kind of deal.
Yeah.
And just kind of, we met up. You know, I drove, you know, it's 2 hours for me to get here to Wilkesboro. But, you know, it was an opportunity that turned out really good for the Bang the Light and for me personally. They became family now. And that's like the racing community. And I had a passion for it, but to come here to the drag strips and get involved and go to other events and, you know, shout out to Robert Smith, Pennywise Racing. He hooked me up. I mean, he didn't know me from nobody. He just seen the passion was there and, you know, hooked me up with my shirts. You know, showed me who to mess with and who not to mess with, to be honest. And, you know, he mentored me to help get my group going. Also, I talked to Chris Long, runs Fox Body Mafia. He has a group, 28,000 members. You know, I talked to him, and we've got on a personal level now lately. And, you know, through drag racing, everybody just thinks it's just racing, but to me, it's the atmosphere, it's the family. You know, I come here, these people are not my blood, but they treat me better than gold, and I'm very appreciative of that. Now, I've gotten many friends from drag racing. A lot of people I would just know on Facebook. Now that, you know, I'm going places, interacting with them. They're coming to play events I'm at. They're in my group, sending me messages, want to talk to me, and it's just a whole family type atmosphere. The love that you get from your drag racing buddies. They said drag racing buddies are the best, and that's 100% facts.
Okay, and then we'll talk a little bit, which, like I said, there's no script here, so I don't want to bounce around, but I got to include Jada on this.
Oh, Jada's a big part of Bang the Light. I have 2 other kids, Jada, Jocelyn, and Jackson, and they, you know, I was just a normal guy going to work, back and forth to work, and just doing my thing, and I wanted to, you know, when I started this drag racing group, I became a little bit more into their eyes. You know, I'm everything, and I wanted to prove to them I'm just more than just a worker or whatever, and it really hit home with my kids, and I just try to be the best guy I can every day now. And you know, Jada shows up to the events and sings, but she backs me up 100%. When I talked to her about doing the group, she was right beside me 100% all the way.
Yeah, like I said, we've been around Jada ourselves, and I mean, she puts her heart in. You can already tell she's putting her heart in. Yeah, too.
She loves it. I can't wait for this coming up weekend. She's coming down. I got to spend a whole weekend with her. She's in college, so I got to spend a weekend with her last weekend. Her and Cade, her boyfriend, and really, you know, because I go to drag strip and I got family, but at that time, you know, my daughter was there, and you know, it means a lot when she's there with me. And you know, to have her sing the national anthem at some of these events, it takes my breath away. It leaves me in tears almost every time. I couldn't be more proud of her, but for her to embrace what I love, you know, she loves me to death, and this is something I care a lot about. I care a lot about the sport. I love a good race. I like to see them door to door, all the way down 330 door to door, 660 door to door, and we either going to video or we're looking at the timing system to see one, because you just don't know, it's so close. But my real enjoyment is the people in our sport. the little kids that come out to these events. Have you been to one events I've been a part of?
Next generation.
Next generation, right here. You know, when we come to events I'm flagging, we bring the kids down there and we let them run on the track, and they'll get to hold my flashlight. And you know, the next generation. That's what it's all about. The kids. You know that we was all kids one time, and you know you might have went to a drag strip with your parents or your folks or family or friends, and or some of us just got the itch from seeing a good street car go down the road, loud exhaust, big motor, nice paint, car shows, stuff like that. You just get that little itch, and when you come to drag strip, it just took on a whole different meaning, especially for me because, like I said, the people that I'm involved with. There's a lot of good people at drag strips. Some of the best people you'll ever meet in your life.
Okay, so we talked after Tyler's first race.
Yeah.
Then we come to an agreement before the next race.
Yeah, I got a phone call, and we met back up.
We met back up, and just right before the race, Tyler got sick.
Yeah, Tyler got sick, and he was going to cancel the event.
The whole idea behind Bang a Light was, you know,
the Bang a Light. If you know what Bang a Light, flashlight starts, but you know the group is also for all drag racing. You know, we're a family. Some people don't like drag. You know, the flashlight starts. Some people do. Some people like no prep. Some people like prep. Bracket racers, pro mods, whatever you got. You know, if it's a race, it's a race.
So Tyler gave you the opportunity to flag that race.
Yeah, Tyler gave me the opportunity to flag that race.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, thank you much, buddy. Sorry you was sick that day. You in Savannah, but Cody and Aaron came down here that day. Yeah. Cody Byer and Aaron Bergen came down here to help run that event that day. And Tyler was sick; he was going to cancel. But we all stepped in, and we actually raised $1,400 for a needy family that day. I think it was $1,200 on a 50-50 raffle, and a driver donated $200 of his winnings. And you know, it was a good thing. You know, I remember a lot of things about that race. We had a foot race that day too. It was pretty fun. You know,
they had big kids and little kids.
Big kids and little kids. You know,
it's been a big hit. So then, of course, you know, there's been some races in between.
Yeah.
And then last one was Motor Mile.
Oh yeah, we did Tyler's third Saturday Night Street Fight. Yeah. Tyler was here for that, and he let me do the light again.
Yeah.
And then we went to Motor Mile up there near Radford. Good little place to go visit. College kids town, but it's a nice little place up there.
And Jada took care of us up there. Thank you, Jada.
Yeah. Took us to some good spots. We took us some burger spot, and the burger was bigger than my hand one night. Awesome, but. You know, I try to get, you know, my main thing is, you know, with the group is getting the kids involved. Sorry, my seat just dropped.
Blooper moment. Hey, ain't no blooper.
But, I mean, the kids is where it's at. I mean, we've had little kids show up these races with their parents, and they're 2 or 3 years old, and you see the excitement in their face, and it's to see that just like Christmas for me. You know, I couldn't be more happier.
So you got to do the races here. You went to Motor Mile. And then, you know,
I've had a couple opportunities to go flag some races far out. Robert Goodall hit me up. We'll get with you next year, Robert. He might be coming down here this weekend for the race. Ronnie Silcott and a few others. I can't remember all the names. Has hit me up about flagging events in different states. I hope to get engaged with them. But I've also took on a new role here at Wilkesboro Dragway.
Leads us pretty much, we'll say, kind of leads you to today, but it was the drag strip was sold.
Yeah, the drag strip was sold, changed hands May 1st.
Yeah, which you know, of course, there was an agreement not to take it over till after the race against cancer, pretty much.
Yeah. And Phil was really nice. Stayed here. Deanna, Joe Green. I mean, they had a great group of people here. And they have all been staying here, helping us, you know, get used to the track, learning stuff that we wouldn't normally know. I mean, you just don't show up to a track and know how to do track prep. Joe worked here for 27 years and is the king. He's the Mac Daddy at the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, track. Have you ever been this track and Joe prepped this track? You know, sticky icky, all the way down. Good guy. I couldn't ask for a better mentor.
Let's see. So now you was the opportunity for you to be here at Wilkesboro.
Yeah,
to work here.
I actually met Paul will be down here. Paul Salvatore. Hey, Paul. Paul will be over the track, and we met at Nut Up or Shut Up, and I came up here and hung out with him on a Thursday night before they had a little cash days that Friday, and hung out with Tim Privet, Paul Salvatore, and all the guys from New York, and I was kind of weird because everybody has that stigmatism about people up north, but they got the same passion we do, they love racing and they're passionate about it. They just don't, they care about the fans, they care about the track, they care about the sponsors, the racing, the kids. I mean, we touched bases. We met that Thursday night and hung out up here, campfire, had a bonfire, and messed around, and we went out to eat that night prior to that. We all went out to eat, and then I came back and hung out. We all hung up at the track with the guys from New York and got to, interact with them. And since then, me and Paul's have gotten more of a personal level, and he asked, we kind of talked, and, he said something about me coming down here, and I was, I'm all for it.
Yeah, let's see, and of course, that pretty much gets us to today. Right now. So, what do you would like to see as far as future for Bang the Light? Your end goal, or just?
Well, when I started the group, it was all about connection. There's a lot of other groups out there that I follow and keep up with. In the drag racing world, there's a lot of them. And it was just about me bringing the community together and, showing my passion for the sport also. But for the future of Bang the Light, I like to keep growing. We're starting to do new things with the group. I started doing some free giveaways. The merchandise is, I don't really advertise through the group a whole lot. I might post it up once or twice. It's not something, the money that we get through Bang the Light, I don't pay my bills with it. It's not the way I make my living. It's just money set back for my kids in the long run and to grow forward. But the future of Bang the Light, I took on a job here at Wilkesboro Dragway, and I'm gonna honor that. But I've talked to Paul, and I'm gonna be out and about. I might be at a track near you for long. So
yeah, and like I said, you've picked up some sponsors along the way. Us being one. And
yeah, I picked up Carolina Performance and Dyno, Hammer Brothers. That's Casey Lemons and Michael Hodges. They're out of. They have a shop in Connsville, Virginia. They do anything from brake works to performance upgrades for your car. And everybody knows Carolina Performance and Dyno down here in Wilkesboro. Performance upgrades, tuning. And also have Pro Graphics. They're in Martinsville, Virginia. And that's Carson Stone. Another guy, he does my decals, my tumblers. He one that made my image for my group. I gave him the idea. He came up and gave me a final product. That was awesome. He does my decals, my flags, tumblers, beer koozies. The man can do about anything. I can go on and on about what he can do. It's probably just easier to say what he can't do.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff he's done for you, and I mean, it's everything's been really nice,
really nice quality. And my newest sponsor is Robert Smith with Pennywise Racing. If you ain't already, go over there, give him a like and a follow. All the sponsors, they all have Facebook pages. You can contact them through their Facebook pages. All of them really great people. All of them are passionate about racing. And I'm very honored and very proud to call them my sponsors and have them on board with our group.
Yeah. And probably not going to mention no names because I know you have a couple.
There's more sponsors coming. They're lined up right now. We got a few things in the works.
Don't want to call no names yet, but I know I've been approached by unscripted. Yeah, here we go, blooper.
Yeah, blooper.
Approached by a couple of them myself, here at the track, and they were like, hey, what's the deal with Bang the Light? I told them. They're like, what do you think about sponsoring? I'm like, if you don't pick him up and sponsor him, you're going to miss out because you could be in the bed asleep at night at 12 o'clock and he's going to post something pushing you. And, of course, you got to push yourself. but he's pushing you.
If I say anything,
you're gonna get up 6 o'clock
I'm
in the
gonna
morning.
mention y'all. Any sponsors? Also, I was talking about my sponsor, Robert Smith, his wife Andrea. She's usually the lady behind doing all the photos. Really great. Blaze, their son,
Does really good.
a really good kid, young man. Is standing there running at 10 all day and running like a champ. And their family too. I talked to Robert on, if not every day, almost every other day.
Oh yeah.
Really good people. Really good people.
As far as like I said, I'm not gonna get too far on myself. I want to keep it on you because that's what this is for. But I can say is, I've met a lot of people over the years drag racing and made a lot of friends and stuff like that. And it's just, it's a cycle sometimes. You meet people and then they're gone. You meet people and then they're gone. And sometimes you meet people and you're like, you can't run them off.
Yeah.
You want them gone, you can't run them off.
You ain't gonna run me off.
You're going to run this guy off, but I don't want him gone anyway because he's done.
I appreciate that.
Some people you don't want to see go. I mean, that's, drag racing is family.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And the sad thing about drag racing right now is a lot of tracks are selling out for developments.
Yes.
And I'm really thankful to Donnie for buying Wilkesboro and honoring it as, he fell in love with the place. And big shout out to him. He's also maybe looking at buying other tracks, but it's get back to drag racing, and I know like New York, where Donnie's from. I think they only got about 3 or 4 places to run up there. I know they got Robert Goodall has Samson No Prep up there. It's on an airfield. They're doing some really good things up there for the guys. But like in the state of New York, they're running out of places to run. These places are being shut down. Atlanta just lost one this year. There's speculation of other tracks. I'm not naming no names. There's other speculation. A couple tracks in North Carolina are up for sale. It's a sad thing. Well, I do not want to see them go. This is my getaway. This is my heaven. If I die, I hope there's a drag tree or a flashlight, 2 good lanes, and some good cars lined up.
Yeah, support your local tracks. I mean,
show up.
Even if you're like it's hard for everybody to go to the drag strip every weekend. But hey, if you can't go, or if you want to just, hey, I want to help you guys out. I may not be able to show up. Hey, I'll just let me throw a little sponsorship money towards your track to help your track.
That's a thing with a track. Like I'm learning the aspect of how track runs right now. Is there's the power bills at these tracks ain't little. Ain't a $100 or $200 or $300 little power bill. I mean, power bills are outrageous. You want to be good to your health. And you want to pay them better than minimum wage. You don't, but for tracks to succeed, it don't matter what track owner or track manager does. They can ruin it in a matter of minutes. But the whole community that shows up that track, the testing tuners, the people that throw the events, the come out and throw the events, the Tyler Winhams, the Robbie Dollars, the Carolina Performance and Dynos, the Pennywise Racings, these people that show up and come to these events. Like the media guys in drag racing are awesome. Willie Sheffield, Corey Stampler, Samantha Cook, Caitlin Ward. I mean,
the list goes on and on.
I mean, I can sit here all day and go about the list because these people show up and do photography, live feeds. Limpy does a live feed. People like that. I mean, they do live feeds at these events, and it helps the people that can't make it to the strips. Because I mean, I like to watch Limpy's events. I mean, I can't drive out to Texas or. Well, he's all over the place. I can't get there, but the live feeds help. But showing up to these tracks, and even if you don't show up, put it out there on your Facebook post. Say, hey, this event's going on at such and such track. Show up. Or some people might not be in some of these racing groups.
Right.
They're on Facebook.
As far as we'll say a little transitioning from a fan of drag racing to basically jumping in and getting your feet wet now. What's the difference standing on this side watching versus being down there at the line, basically behind the scenes?
When you're a fan, you show up, you're having a good time with your buddies, becoming a part of track personnel, safety. I mean, I was here at 828 when the TKM car lost control. It could have been a whole lot worse than what it was. I know a young lady got hurt. I hope she's doing better now. I know that TCAM car, luckily the driver was okay. I was scared to death. I was filming behind Billy's truck. When he took off, you know, the wind off his truck was hitting me. I was dead right there on the line. And as soon as that accident happened, I realized what happened. I turned my phone down. To be honest, I thought he was out there in the middle of the track. Luckily, he jumped right up.
Yeah, it was
really lucky, really
scary
lucky.
moment right then.
You know, because drag strips are fun, but these guys that get out here, they're brave. Well, not just guys, excuse me. There's men and women in our sport. The women are just they're just as brave as the men.
Yeah.
They show up and show out here their inspiration. The young kids that were at drag race and the junior dragsters, you know, they're something else, you know. But there's women in our sport, and you know, there's more men than there is women, but the women are starting to come along. Shanna Dollar, where you at?
She ran us.
I think she stepped out, but you know, these women that show up in drag race too, they're something else. Need more women in the sport to help back it up. Y'all can drag race just as good as any man.
Oh yeah, so it's a lot of fun watching the.
You know, from you, that's your wife out there drag racing. I mean, that's a little different.
Racing, you know, my wife and my son both, and got a
young little man right here. Come here, Riley.
Come on over here.
There's the next driver right here in the Dollar franchise.
So, seeing it from your point of view, from fan.
Yeah, from the fan, you can show up and having fun. When you come to the track,
you
know, like today,
you see a lot more than the fan don't see.
Yeah, I mean, it's all for me.
Work.
Like today, you know, Joe Green's been teaching me, and you know, there's some locals here at the track that have showed up, and like Junior and his boys Kobe and Ryan, they show up at the track. They've talked to me. I've got to be good friends with them. Zane, you know, there's a couple people, but as learning the track, my main thing is safety. We had our first our test and tune that I didn't have. You know, Joe here today, or Deanna. Austin came in today. Thank you, Austin. But there's a different aspect when you're standing on that line and you're watching cars go down the strip. You know, it's all about safety, making sure there's nothing on the track is good to go. The drivers are safe. It's a big difference. You know, I'm not sitting out in the stands no more, or on the starting line trying to bet money. You know, I'm up there trying to run the tree and make sure the drag strip is working properly. It's a big difference. There's a lot of, they're the underdog heroes of our sport, the guys that show up and do track maintenance and run these facilities. They're the underdog heroes of the sport, because without them, you know, we couldn't go here and come to spectate or watch or enjoy the show. The drivers are the show. The directors are the track personnel that show up week in and week out and take care of these facilities and make sure that these drivers are getting down the track and safely. That's the main thing. Nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. If your car gets tore up, that's a heartache. But if you can walk away from there and breathe another day and thank the good Lord that you woke up again another day, that's the blessing in disguise. Sure, your car might be tore up. And I'm pretty sure some drivers just wish they was gone when the car wrecked, but you know, we get to, you know, come back and race another day. That's the main goal.
I was trying to think, was there anything else? I mean, like I said, this got us pretty much to today.
Yeah, today was thank you, Robbie Dollar. He come today and helped at the track today. He grew up this track at Wilkesboro, so big shout out to him. He was my side chick today.
Side chick. Oh.
Sorry, Bubba. I gotta use you for a minute. Bubba Phillips and side chick, Jake Boswell and all them boys are real good people. They was down here a couple weeks ago, and Jake and his wife Tammy, real good people. Jake and his old lady, real good people. Some, you know, it's opinion who you like and who you don't in the sport, you know. But it was good to see you, Bubba, then bring a car down here and win in it too.
I mean, races like anything else. Emotions can run high. I mean, you just get caught up in the moment.
Yeah. I know when you're out there and you're in a race and you know your car's not acting right, or you didn't get down the track, you might have lost. You know, sometimes, or there's a disagreement. You know, we all got to keep in mind in this sport, that you may have a disagreement, but you know you need to squash that stuff in the end because you all got the same passion.
Right.
You may not like somebody, but they have the same desire as you do. They want to go down the track fast as they can and win. Nobody shows up to the drag strip to lose. Nobody.
But I think we've kind of pretty much covered it all for now.
Yeah, there will be more.
There'll be more. But hey, you gonna come right over here with us?
We were just talking about you and the women. We need to stop one more second. While I'm here, we touched on what we like. We was talking about the women in the sport. I got a man that had a back track right there, and you know the women in the sport. You know, y'all are just as brave as any man that goes down that track, and we like to see more women in the sport. You know, I mean, you can show up to a drag strip. You ain't gotta have the fastest car, ladies. You ain't gotta be in no high ride, but to be part of it, you just come to test and tune, and you come to test and tune, and you can take your little car. Your little Honda Civic or your mom van. You can drive down that strip. It costs just a few dollars more. But, I mean, it's all about just, you know, jumping in there. Like when I started my group, I jumped in the drag racing world and I hope I make a little splash, a little ripple effect, and it reaches more people. But the women of the sport, you know, there's not a lot of y'all, but there's some of y'all out there. And, you know, y'all no different than the guys show up. It's an equal opportunity.
50-50.
Yeah, like me. If you know, when you pull up that line, I don't care if you're in a pro mod in the left lane or Lyle Barnett and Beer Money and over here, and I'm in. You know, I got a rental car and I hit a deer. I pull up and my little Chevrolet Impala rental car. You know, you hit that line, you got a 50-50 chance. Even though the odds may be stacked against you on the performance of the car. But just show up. I mean, ladies, show up. Come out here and drag race. Shannon, what you got to say about that?
It'd be good to have more women doing it.
Yeah, like a powder puff races. We'd like to see some more of that out here, or some women racing. You know, like I said, you go to test and tune, ladies. You ain't got to be in a hot rod. You can pull up there and just have a newer Camaro. The newer cars nowadays, they ain't lacking no horsepower.
No.
Go out there and make you a pass. You know, take it easy at first, but learn yourself and learn the track, and then go out there and make you a good pass. Need more women in the sport, that's for sure.
That's true.
More kids. Bring your kids to the drag strip. Spectators, bring them kids. If I'm there, I guarantee you we're going to get them involved.
Oh, the kids is definitely going to be involved, and they're going to have special
like
moments.
Mr. Ryland today.
Moments, yeah.
Mr. Ryland tonight. You got to send your mama down the strip with a flashlight, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know, kids show up. I'll let them come out there with a flashlight. Not for the race itself, but we'll let them do the flashlight and hold the flashlight and race little foot races with the little kids there. So, you know, just little kids come out there, 3, 4, 5 years old, and for them to get on that track and just run down it, I think it's the coolest thing in the world.
Well, like I said, I think we've covered it all. There's one thing we have to tell everybody, though.
All right.
What is it?
Bang the